All right, welcome to Make It Official, where we talk officiating and we cover the officiating side of sports. And with me today is Mr. Steve Duval, and I am Mr. 401. So we thank you all for tuning in to the 401 Sports World Network on YouTube. So make sure you do that. Make sure you type this in 411 Sports World Network. That's on YouTube. Make sure you do that for us. And then also on TikTok, type in Mr. 411. Greatly appreciated for those who've already done it and those who are going to do it. Make sure you share, make sure you hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything that all the shows that pop in and out. Also, make sure that you are letting everybody know where we are and what we're about. We definitely appreciate it. And hit that like button. Mr. Duval, welcome back.
Yes, sir. How you doing tonight?
Doing great.
Yeah,
Doing
good to
great.
be back. Good to be back with you. We into
Absolutely.
another
Get
season. You know,
another season already.
oh yes, sir, man. We on the high school side, we're halfway through the season almost, and
You
we
know, that's
started back
unbelievable.
in early August. Maybe the second week in August. We were going live. It used to be you didn't have football games until after Labor Day, pretty much in September. But
Hmm.
now we're starting almost a month earlier now.
Unbelievable, man. When you put it into that perspective, and then you sit back and think about it, you're right, because when you hit October, that's like towards the end of the regular season and you're in the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
So
That's correct.
yeah, that's crazy. And
Yeah,
for schools just to started last month. But man, you guys are rolling and doing your thing out there. And we definitely appreciate what you do as officials. One official speaking to another. So I understand the struggle. But we definitely appreciate it because the games can't be done without officials. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah, not the way you want them done.
That's
So you have to have officials. Yep. So
yes.
appreciate that effort. Yep, everything that entails with that. But also, what entails with officiating is, we have plays, we have things that happen, we have humans involved as the athletes, as the fans, as the coaches, as the officials. And so we're going to cover a couple plays they that have come into question. We're going to cover a play from week 2 of the NFL between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs, and then also two plays within the SEC football realm. So we'll talk about those plays. Let's first talk about the one from the NFL. That's the most recent play, and that was towards the end of the game with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals. There was a pass interference call late in that game. So what we'll do, Mr. Duval, is we'll put the play up, and then after it's played, we'll let you walk us through it. Any rules that you want us to know about, any positions, any things you want us to look at and pay attention to. We'll run the video back again, and then you can go over the rulings and everything, if you don't mind with that.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so let's get the first one up. And also, we're going to play on this one the commentary of what Tony Romo, former NFL quarterback, current NFL broadcaster, had to say about the play. So hang in there with us. The actual play is video is a minute and 31 seconds, and then what Tony Romo has to say is another 45 seconds. So just sit back and enjoy. Here we go.
Well, it seems like these two teams are incapable of playing a normal game of football. Once again, goes down to the wire between the Chiefs and the Bengals here. Right here, this is a 4th down and 16. All the Bengals have to do is get off the field here. It's essentially over. The Chiefs have all 3 timeouts. It's not a guaranteed victory, but you're feeling pretty good if you can get off the field here. You see right there, though, Rashee Rice, Mahomes is just throwing up a prayer to him, essentially. And as of right now, it's going to be DeHaan Anthony is the defensive back who's rushing in. All he has to do is rush in, knock the ball away, and they're in a great spot, and watch what happens. As you see, he gets there early. It's a bit of a late flag, but I didn't think it was that late. The ref, it was a late penalty, which is why it was a late flag, but that was the correct call. It wasn't the most egregious call you'll ever see, but if you look over at this angle, it really does go to show, like, yeah, this was a penalty. Like, Rashee Rice couldn't have made that catch because of the contact. It was significant contact that hindered Rice's ability to make the catch. That's pass interference. That gets called pretty much every time. Butker, of course, you know he's not going to miss the game winner, and just like that, the Chiefs survive. It seems like they just find ways to win, right? And I mean that as a compliment, not an insult. Big mistake by the Bengals, which is obviously, you got to think about the time they made a big mistake in the conference championship game. Now another one here. Tough loss for the Bengals, but they showed they can hang with one of the best teams in the league.
Well, I think we see this happen a lot, in the NFL late in games. It's just the poise, to just finish the play because, your blood pressure gets ramped up, your nerves are all ramped up. And, Anthony actually had two pretty good plays out there. But in critical downs, an interception earlier and there, a rookie comes in and just wants to go do it. And that's what you want out of your players. But it's really the calmness and the poise to make the other team beat you. But a lot of craziness, honestly. It was like, whoa, shouldn't they be more aggressive? And it was like, oh, but I guess they like 4th and 6. They got Mahomes. They'll just get it. No, 4th and 16. And they get it. It's just what he does. He's got magic.
All right, Mr. Duvall, what's your thoughts on this play? Walk us through it.
Okay. It was a crucial down right there at the end of the game. And I guess Romo was pretty much describing, what's going on. Everybody's tight in those situations, even the officials, because you wanted to get that call right. So to me, the defender clearly got there early to break up that pass. And one of the definitions of pass interference, is playing through the receiver. You can't try to get to the ball through the receiver. Now you have every right to that ball that's in the air. The defender has just as much right to the football as the offensive player. Both of y'all can go to catch the ball. But neither one of you can interfere with the other person trying to catch the ball. So you can have what they call OPI, which is offensive pass interference, or you can have DPI, defensive pass interference. And in this case, we had DPI, defensive pass interference by the defender because he was playing through the offensive player to try to get to the ball. And so it was contact, it was crucial time in the game and that sort of thing. Now, one of the things, it's always funny, and I even hear from coaches on the sideline too. The commentator said, well, the flag was late. So how long do you have to throw the flag? How long does the referee have to throw his flag to determine what he's seen and once the flag is thrown? So you hear a lot of people say, that flag was late. It was late. Well, who makes that determination? There's nothing in the rule book that says the flag has to be thrown within 2 or 3 seconds of a play. So oftentimes, especially your deep officials that are playing or officiating against pass plays, they will run that whole play through their mind to see exactly what they had and just run it back through. It's like a replay, and they're running it back through their mind. Okay, he came up, he came through the front. He grabbed his arm, he twisted this guy, he did this, he did that. You're running all that through your mind before you throw the flag. So if you got 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, here comes the flag. Maybe 5 seconds later. But that's giving him time to really make a decision as to what he actually saw, and then whether it was, in fact, a foul or not, and then he throws the flag. So, to me, it's no definition. I mean, it's nothing. There's no such thing as a late flag. It's either a flag on the play or not. Now, if you got 2 or 3 sets of eyes on the play, oftentimes, and you will see that an official has thrown the flag, and then you will see somebody else come with more information, and they get together and they pick that flag up and they wave it off because somebody else saw something, and then another decision was made based on what he saw by himself. He thought he had a foul. Based on what the other three officials saw on this particular play, they say, no, that didn't happen. And so what you're doing, you're getting together to try to get the call right. And I think the last time, every time we talk about plays and officiating, I always tell you that film doesn't lie. So when you go back to the film and you see something on film that has happened in a game, I mean, it tells you what's going on. The NFL and Division I college football, they have instant replay. So they even have somebody that can go back and look at the film right there on the spot to see if they got the play correct. Unfortunately, we don't have that in lower levels of our college football, and also high school football. We don't have instant replay. We don't have instant replay, so you have to make that determination right there on the spot. Now I have had not now on high school sidelines, they have sophistication where they have actually recording going on of the game, and they can review plays as they go on. And I've actually had a high school coach say, "You come and look at it on film." If I come and look at it, I still can't change it based on what I just saw on that film. Either we got it wrong or we got it right. But in the heat of battle, all things are said. Some things people make cases that you can't try. You can't make it work. And I've even seen we had a play early in the year in college football where the replay officials changed the call that was made on the field, and that call that was made on the field was the correct call. And when they looked at the film and they saw a different angle of something, but they didn't see all the angles, they changed the call and got the call wrong. So you still have a human element in all of this.
Right.
But we're trying to get it right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so and with that play, I mean, you mentioned some great points there about there's no such thing as a late flag. So and I really feel like it's better to be, slow and get it right than to be quick and get it wrong. So that way
Absolutely.
you have a chance to get it right. So try to use that analogy, try to use that technique in basketball as well. But then obviously in football it's way more time than to get up to make your decision, I would think, than it is in basketball, for example. And you know what I mean by that. Like in normal day life, people think, man, 1 or 2 seconds, but 1 or 2 seconds in officiating sports is a long time.
Very
Um,
long time, right?
yeah,
Right.
very long time actually. Yeah, and so I'm glad that you brought that to light. Um, there's something else I want you to talk about on that play. Um, it does it did it matter? Um, did it did it play any factor in the decision on that play of, like, let's just say the score, for example? Like this pass interference play basically in the NFL, it's going to be a spot foul, so it's not just a set number of yards on that penalty, right? Like 15 yards or so. It's where that penalty occurred in the NFL, which in this case basically put the Chiefs in field goal position and have an
Right.
opportunity to kick a field goal to win the game. Um, so did the score matter on this play, and did the time of the situation, like being late in the game, did it really come into play, or is it really just like what you were saying, just breaking down when that contact occurred?
Okay. Well, think about it. If the score had been 40-0, would that play really matter?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Well, really, they wouldn't have been trying to pass probably in that situation, unless it was the losing team. Of course, now so yes, it matters. It matters, and it doesn't matter. I mean, a foul is a foul is a foul.
Okay.
But at certain points in the game, If the game has already been decided and that sort of thing, unless it's a real bad safety issue involved, where something was so blatant that that person did this and it caused injury or something like that. Sometimes you wouldn't have thrown on that particular play, but uh, uh, being the score was what it was at the end of the ball game, crucial play.
Hmm.
Uh, I think the penalty was warranted in that particular situation. You know,
Okay.
because if he had passed on that, then it would have been an uproar probably. And understand this: all those officials, even though they have instant replay in the NFL and all that, those guys are being graded on every call. Every call that they make in that game is graded. It's either good, bad call, or whatever. So uh, you got to get it right, because if you're constantly having to go to review with the calls that you make and the calls that you're making in the NFL, after review they're being reversed. That means you can't go 50%.
Yeah.
50% won't get you. It's gonna get you fired. That's what it's gonna get. So
Yeah.
all those things. Understand that those guys are being graded, on everything that they do in that game. Uh, Not only mechanic wise, but the fouls they call. Was that foul justified? Uh, did it matter? Should you have passed on that particular holding call or whatever? So it is being done on not only the NFL level, but the college level, all down through the ranks. Uh, so they're being graded. Officials are being graded week in and week out on their performance
Absolutely.
on the field. Right.
Very good. Very good. All right. So I definitely appreciate you diving into that with the pass interference and giving us the insight there. What we're going to do now is go to play number two. And now we're going to shift gears to the college scene. And we're going to put up a play here. And I believe it's going to be the roughing the passer play. University of Georgia versus University of Kentucky. Um, and let's see if we can get that play up. I know you've taken a look at some of the videos already, so you kind of have your groundwork already laid. But we're gonna play the video for
Okay.
everyone to view, and then once again, we would like for you to break it down for us. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's get that queued up. All right. Here we go. And we'll play it one more time. I know it was quick,
Okay.
but since hey, we give people another chance to look at it and all right. This was called roughing the passer. Now, me not being a football official, it seems like it was a routine tackle. In my from my point of view. So I'm basically coming from a fan point of view. Um, I didn't see anything egregious there, but do tell. What do you think about this play? Um, and what is going through the mind of the officials on this play?
First of all, uh, that roughing the passer was probably called by the referee, uh, the white hat. So
Okay.
in every official has assignments on every play, and every play uh, in football, the referee's guy, his key, one of his main key will be the quarterback when he's back there. So that's the only guy he's watching. So I'm sure he threw that foul. And uh, in this day and time, and with injuries the way they are, uh, and, and quarterbacks being taken, being injured, careers ended and that sort of thing. Uh, there is I guess, an idea that's been put out there that, the quarterback needs to be protected. So there are only certain ways that you can hit that quarterback now. You can't hit him in the head. You can't, you can't go high. You can't target him. Well, targeting has been taken out of the game all the way around, and that's leading with the, with the helmet, um, uh, launching, and that sort of thing. So, all that being said, it was hard for me, you know, because I'm a referee also watching this play.
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't have thrown on that one personally. Now, I'm not saying
Mhm.
this guy didn't see something, that made him do or made him throw on that to call it, roughing the passer. Uh, but it's kind of hard to tell a guy 320 pounds or however big he is, to put on the brakes when he's that close to the quarterback, and that ball had not been released either. So
Okay.
he's in the process of throwing that ball, and that ball hadn't gone. So you can't count. I can't even count. I can't count a second in between the release of that ball and that contact. That contact is almost simultaneous with him getting that pass off. So that's what he's doing. I mean, the lineman is doing his job as far as I'm concerned. They're taught to get to the quarterback. That's his main job, in rushing the passer. So okay. That is most specific. Once a pass has been released by a pass, rushing defender may make the direct contact with the pass only up to the rusher's first step after such release. Uh, so I, I don't see this, the definition right here that's being spelled out. I don't see that in that particular play, because it says any contact thereafter will be called roughing the passer. That guy was there as he was releasing that ball, in my estimation. What
Mhm.
the referee saw that particular day. I mean, and that thing is live action. So I mean, it's going live and stuff. And his mindset is to protect the quarterback. You're gonna protect the quarterback. You're gonna protect the punter. That's his guy when you're on a punt situation. You're protecting the holder and the kicker in a field goal or point after situation. Those are your keys. That's what you're watching. You're not watching anything else except that. You're not turning your head or whatever. You're watching all of that action. So, uh, you know,
And I know we
I
did it.
guess if I was evaluated, because I have evaluated before, I've done some college evaluation or whatever. And
Okay.
if I had been evaluating on this particular game there or whatever, I probably would have put some comments, as why did you call, roughing the pass on that particular call? And I wouldn't have approved of that particular roughing the passer call as an evaluator. You know.
So is one of the elements, what I'm hearing here is one of the elements that the ball already be released, at least maybe a beat there of it being released. Um,
Ball,
and is there anything wrong with the form tackle? I mean, the form of the tackle. Did he slam the quarterback to the ground? I mean, are those some of the things you look at as well in
I didn't
determining
see him.
roughing the passer?
I didn't see him coming with the crown of his helmet in there.
Okay.
I saw his head up. When he hit him, he wrapped him up. So it wasn't a launch per se. When you say a launch, I'm talking when you launch, then you're putting something else in there. You putting the elbow out there. You're doing something
Okay.
with that shoulder pad. You're diving and that sort. Personally, I didn't see that, and I mean, we can look at it again, and
Okay.
maybe break it down in slow motion, and and all of that. But I'm not. I didn't see that in that particular play.
Okay. All right. And hey, and that's what you're here for, to help us out, help us understand it. And then we'll take the information from there. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, for me, I just didn't see roughing the passer on that one, but it was called, and you have to move on, right?
Absolutely.
All right, and we are going to move on. We're going to dive into a play. This will be uh, like, will this be more considered that we're about to talk about here? Blindside block. Is that the right way to term this that we're about to
Exactly.
discuss next?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
okay. All right. So get ready for this video, the blindside block video. Just to set the table for you. There was an interception by the University of South Carolina. 100-yard return for a touchdown, which it appeared to be. But in the process of the defender who intercepted the ball running it back, the now the defender, one of the teammates, blocked the quarterback, if you will. And so we're going to take a look at that and see what the officials ruled on this play. All right, here it goes.
Go from being uptight in the box to sinking, puts it right into his hands, and right after he threw it, this is the hit that he took right here by Kyle Kennard.
Trash to say I didn't do it, but
and again, there's so.
All right, let's play it one more time, Mr. Duval.
Yes,
One
sir.
more time.
Go from being uptight in the box to sinking, puts it right into his hands, and right after he threw it, this is the hit that he took right here by Kyle Kennard.
trash to say I didn't do it, but
and again, there's so.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get your thoughts on that play there, Mr. Duval. What's your take on it? Did you like the call? What elements are involved in this that we need to understand as fans
Okay.
and
So this,
officials, by the way?
okay, and he called the blindside block. I believe that's what he called on that play, was the blindside block.
Okay.
Definition of a blindside block is if the person that's being blocked doesn't see that block coming, then you can't hit him unless you extend your arms and block him with your hands. Hands extended to block, to make the block. Now, again, this particular block, okay, it says not aware of the block and cannot see the block approaching. Blindside blocks are considered illegal. Okay, so it's not to say you can't block the opponent. So, if, in other words, you can't. If you're getting ready to block somebody, you gotta say, "Hey, here I come. I'm getting ready to block you." Right? No, you can block somebody that doesn't see the block coming, but there are certain ways to apply the block, and the best way to describe that is with hands extended. That you got to put your hands out. And he said that's what the person that made that block, that was his case to be made with the referee. The problem is that block was on the quarterback again. The
Okay.
guy with that pretty, quarterback had bubble around him. You understand? So, and I'm sure it was probably the referee that made this call, because that's the guy. That's my guy. That's the guy I got to protect. And he probably made a judgment call based on if this guy was just blocking this guy, then he never had to hit him like he hit him, right? So even if you don't have a blindside block, you probably got some unnecessary roughness in there because you're trying to take this guy out. And that's what these guys are taught to do. Let's get that quarterback. We're going to get the quarterback. That's our guy. We got to get him. So if you don't get him when he's on offense, you can certainly get him when he's on defense.
Mm.
And that was the mindset of this defender. When he had him set up like that, then I got me a free lick at this quarterback. And so I'm not sure I would have called blindside block on that, but I surely would have thrown it for unnecessary roughness. You ain't had to hit him like that. You could, if you're gonna block him, you could have just stood there and he can't get around you or whatever. So the block was unnecessary, and in that case, it was unnecessary roughness. So, I got a penalty regardless of what you want to call it. And I think they did call a blindside block in the game. And that was probably the case from, coming from the coach. Well, you say you got to extend his hands and everything. Yeah, but you ain't got to try to kill him when you're doing that. So, so I'm gonna get me some unnecessary roughness on that, and I'm gonna be okay with making that call.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Great
Because I
understanding
mean,
there.
you're trying to take those kind of licks out of the game. Uh, Football is a very, very violent sport, no doubt about it, and they're trying to do everything they can to make it less dangerous. But it's football is never going to be where it's not dangerous at all. So, uh, again, uh, I believe it was correct call in protecting that quarterback because he didn't have to hit that guy like that.
All right. And so there it is. Great explanation to that play. So it looks like either way, the touchdown would have been negated.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's a lesson learned there from South Carolina, and their team
See,
on those
here's
sudden
another thing
changes.
too, Tyrone. Not cutting you off.
No, go. You go
That
ahead.
that block that block wasn't even necessary. That quarterback was never, ever, ever going to get to that guy who had intercepted that pass. And oftentimes, these kind of blocks, the blindside blocks and those kind of things, happen behind the play. See, so it's not like I'm trying to aid my teammate in scoring or anything else. What it is I got me a cheap shot and I'm getting ready to take it. And
Right.
so that's what we're trying to get out of the game. And those kind of things provoke teams. I mean, it can only escalate a serious situation. I mean, because they're already, out there hitting and they're hitting hard, man. And when you hit me hard, I want to hit you hard back. And yeah, I mean, it's some licks being made out there, and I
Yeah.
understand that. But in the scheme of the game, it's undisciplined uh, behavior, and coaches that coach those players up to have discipline in those situations and stuff. Same thing when the guy's getting ready to go out of bounds. This guy's finna go out of bounds or whatever. So you don't have to hit him and knock him in the next week when he's right there next to the sideline. Um, and that's what, oftentimes, guys will hold up and let that guy get out of bounds and that sort of thing. And of course, it's fair game when he gets close to the sideline. He's still in play. So you can hit him and knock him in the next week. But if he's got 1 foot out of bounds and you hit him like that, then I'm gonna flag that because you didn't have to do that. You knew what he was gonna, he was headed out of bounds in the first place. So you just wanted to put a lick on him for nothing. And so those types of things can provoke other stuff later on in the game. And one way to combat uh, those types of plays and that sort of behavior is with that flag. And when you
Yeah.
penalize them and then it hurts the team, like that brought a touchdown back, right? So that guy probably won't do that again uh,
Yeah.
if they get in that situation again.
Yeah. And it turns out that touchdown, I mean, you know, those 6 points would have came in handy for a victory and a major upset
Yeah,
over a team that was ranked number 1 in the nation. So yeah, that's definitely gonna be a lesson learned there. And it sounds like the key to it all is safety. Um, you
yeah.
know, and a lot of these rules are in place for safety, and so that's what we need to understand as well. So yeah, great information there. We definitely appreciate the insight there on these plays. Very good job, Mr. Duvall. I definitely appreciate you being on. Any closing remarks before we roll out?
No, just support your local high school football. Support these athletes and encourage them and go out and watch them and watch your local sports. Encourage these kids. you know, sports. I guess one thing, because I've been involved in it so long.
Yes, sir.
Uh, we're teachers out there too. So these are young people that are coming on and coming up. Yeah, I love to watch sports on all different levels and everything else, but especially our young folks, and that's one of the things that I really, you know, I want these professional players to play with a lot more dignity and everything else, and the things that they do on the field, because all these young people are watching them, and so they're setting examples for these younger guys, and a lot of this stuff filters down from the pros, and but I think we need to encourage our young folks to continue, you know, to participate and be good sportsmen. You know, good sportsmen make good citizens. So
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So all this stuff plays a part, you know, in making our society better. You know, as these kids come up.
Absolutely. Well stated. There's no other. You close the show out the best way possible there, and you know, there's nothing much more to say after that. But to thank you for being on, and
Thanks
thank
for
everybody
having
for
me, man.
tuning in.
You know, I really enjoyed coming on. I really enjoyed
Yes,
it.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Much success.
I appreciate you.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much, and let's do it again, okay?
Will do. I'm sitting
All
on
right.
ready.
Okay, that's all I need to know then. Okay. All right. So for Mr. Duval, Mr. 401, thank everybody for tuning in. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time on Make
Good
It
night.
Official.
Take care.
Good night.